In the beginning, the world was filled with harmony. Everything was new, alive, and perfectly balanced. According to the biblical story, God created a place called the Garden of Eden, a beautiful paradise where life was meant to flourish without pain, fear, or struggle. Food was abundant, the land was peaceful, and humanity lived in direct connection with its Creator. At the center of this garden lived Adam, the first human. He was formed from the earth itself, deeply connected to the world around him. Adam was given purpose and freedom, but there was one thing missing. He was alone. So God created Eve, a companion equal to him in every way. Together, Adam and Eve shared life in the garden. They explored it, cared for it, and enjoyed a relationship built on trust, openness, and simplicity. They were given great freedom. They could eat from any tree in the garden except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God gave them this single boundary not to restrict them, but to teach them trust. As long as they lived within that trust, harmony remained. For a time, everything was good. One day, that trust was tested. A serpent appeared, clever and persuasive. Instead of forcing Adam and Eve to disobey, it planted doubt. It questioned God's intentions, suggesting that he was holding something back. The serpent claimed that eating the fruit wouldn't bring harm, but wisdom, that it would open their eyes and make them more powerful, more independent, more like God. Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful. It seemed desirable and full of promise. Adam listened, and together they made a choice that would change everything. They ate the fruit. Immediately, something shifted. For the first time, Adam and Eve felt shame. They became aware of themselves in a way they never had before. Where there had once been freedom, there was now fear. Where there had been openness, there was now hiding. They tried to cover themselves and hide from God. When God called out to them, they did not answer with confidence, but with fear. And when they were asked what had happened, something deeply human took place. Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. Responsibility was passed along and trust was broken. The consequences of their choice followed. Life would no longer be effortless. Work would become difficult. Pain and struggle would now be part of the human experience. Adam and Eve were told they could no longer remain in the Garden of Eden. The paradise they once knew was lost. Yet this was not the end of the story. Even as they left the garden, God did not abandon them. He clothed them, cared for them, and allowed humanity to continue. Though they had failed, they were not rejected. Though paradise was lost, hope remained. The story of Adam and Eve is not just about the first humans, it is the story of all humanity. It reflects the moments when we doubt what we are told is good, when temptation feels reasonable, and when we choose what looks easy instead of what builds trust. It shows how quickly blame can replace responsibility and how fear can replace honesty. But it also carries a powerful message of grace. Failure does not erase worth. Mistakes do not end the story. Even after losing the garden, Adam and Eve continued forward, carrying both the weight of their choice and the possibility of growth. The story reminds us that freedom comes with responsibility, that choices matter, and that learning often comes through struggle. And most importantly, it tells us that even when we fall short, we are not abandoned. The human story continues every time we face a choice, every time we learn from a mistake, and every time we choose to do better than before.